Hey y'all, and welcome back to another video with Diaries of a Black Girl. In today's video, as you can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about how to grow long, healthy, thick, natural hair. So to give y'all a little bit of background, I have been natural for most of my life, but a straight hair natural. So for the majority of my life, I wore my hair straight. I had like maybe a texturizer once when I was really little, and then I never really got it again. I'll insert some pictures of my hair when I was younger. So I've always had like really long hair. Both my parents have longer hair. And then I told you I had the texturizer maybe once, never got it again, and then I wore my hair straight from that point forward. And I never really explored my natural hair. Like maybe randomly I would wear it curly and it was just completely heat damage. But I never really wore my natural hair until probably when COVID happened. Because, you know, everything was shut down, the salons and stuff like that. So I had been wearing weaves all throughout college. So besides my leave out, a lot of my hair was like curly. So I started exploring with that. Didn't really know what I was doing, but I was still wearing my hair curly. Then I discovered clip-ins, which is what I have in right now. Y'all, I have some curly clip-ins mixed in with my hair. I'll show y'all my actual hair, and it's in my last video too. But started exploring with clip-ins, so I pretty much was wearing my hair curly all the time now. And then my senior year of college in 2022, I got my hair flat ironed for homecoming. And from that point forward, I wore it straight for a whole year. Now, mind you, before that, I had worn it curly for maybe like 2020 to 2022. So my hair was no longer heat trained at all. And I have super, super thick hair. So my hair is no longer heat trained. I'll show y'all a picture of it like straight. And I straightened my hair this entire year. This is actually one of the longest lengths my hair was. So it was long, but the curls were not healthy at all. So I heat damaged my hair. Y'all will see in this picture and on the thumbnail from root to tip all the way down. And I was sick because I was just like, man, if I would have just stayed on the first natural hair journey that I was on, then I would have been fine. So then I want to say around January of 2023, I was like, okay, we're starting this over. So from this picture forward, I did not straighten my hair except for once, I think in September 2023, and I have not straightened it since that one time period. But I was like committed. And y'all, when I tell you this stuff takes patience, especially because it was damaged from root to tip, and I did a couple different little cuts and stuff like that. And then I've just been doing protective styling pretty much the entire time. And now I'm going to show y'all what my hair looks like after this whole, because then we're going to get into the details of the hair growth. But this is what my hair looks like now. And I have never seen my hair like this. It's so special to me to like finally get to like wear my natural hair, feel confident in my natural hair. But now I'm just wanting to grow it even longer. My hair is like pretty long right now, but I definitely think it has the potential to maybe hit waist length. We'll see. So I'm going to tell y'all the tips I did to get my hair where it's at now and what I'm going to do moving forward to try and reach my hair goals. So first things first, if you have any damage, I would start with cutting or trimming the damage. I'm not saying you have to do a big chop. If you want to, I think that's even better because it just makes the process so much faster. Your hair will grow, but yeah, get a trim because you just don't want to further damage your hair and then delay your process even further. So because that damage can travel up the hair shaft and it makes detangling easier. It's just really good to stay on top of your trim. So if you can do it yourself, I'm not telling you to do it yourself. I think for trims and stuff, if you know how to do it yourself, I think that's perfectly fine. I think for trims and stuff, go to a trusted professional, someone that you trust with your hair and is going to actually give you a good trim and not like cut all your hair off. So that is going to be one of my #1 tips, is to be consistent with your trims and just make sure to stay on top of that, because you just don't want to further damage your hair. I used to hate trims, and now I'd rather have healthy hair personally. I love a good trim. I feel like my hair always flourishes afterwards. So I feel like a lot of reason people don't like trims is because sometimes people over trim their hair, or they don't know how to take care of their hair. So it feels like every single time they're getting their hair done, they're chopping all their hair off. So that's just having to do with learning healthy tips to actually like grow your hair. Okay, my next biggest tip, y'all. This is my like favorite thing. I think what helps me retain the most length. Okay, so what we're really talking about is length retention, because your hair is always going to grow, but you want to be able to retain that length. Protective styling, to me, is the #1 way to retain length, like when you're going to see the most progress in your hair growth. Protective styles done right, and real protective styling. The problem is people don't think protective styling grows your hair because they're not getting true protective styles. So some protective styles I would recommend is clip-ins like I have right now. I think these are especially great, like curly clip-ins, if it's like you want to get confident in wearing your hair natural, you still want to kind of have the same look, then I feel like curly clip-ins are the best thing you can do, because you can kind of braid it up like similar to a weave and just let your hair grow, still have some of your hair out, so you're still training your hair, but you're allowing it to grow at the same time. So clip-ins, cornrows, mini twists, mini braids, like tree braids and crochet, anything allowing you to completely leave your hair alone and not continuously manipulate it. Most of the time our hair is breaking or not growing is because we're manipulating it too much, like our hands and our hair way too much. So when you can just leave your hair alone and allow it to flourish, that's when you see the most length retention. And that's why I think protective styles are one of the best methods. Now notice, I did not say box braids, passion twists, and faux locks. So let's get into it. So me personally, in my personal opinion, and I got this also from my aunt who's been a hairstylist for years, an old school hairstylist who actually knows how to grow hair. One of the #1 things she says that damages people's hair is knotless braids, box braids. And let me tell you why. So one, a lot of times they're pulling on your edges, but two, it's really the size that people get. So if you get them on the larger side, then they're better. But when you see all that little hair poking out of the braids, a lot of the times that hair is breaking off and getting damaged. Like whether it's like sweeping across your clothing and getting caught on it, or just being out and just breaking all the way up the shaft. So I do not recommend knotless braids personally. If you have been getting them and you are not seeing progress, or your ends are always split, that is probably why. So I would not include them in protective styles. Same with passion twists. Passion twists are even worse. Like people's hair literally be all out of the twist. And then the reason I say faux locks, so I do think faux locks cover your hair a little bit better. I only recommend faux locks if you actually know how to take them out. Most people don't, and they cut their hair off. But yeah, I do not recommend those for protective styling, but I do recommend protective styling. And in my hair growth journey right now, that is going to be my #1 thing. I think I'm going to do protective styles for about 6 months just to allow my hair to flourish and grow. I'm going to show you guys the length difference from the beginning of this year to about October, and just see how much my hair has grown within that time period of just pretty much leaving it alone the entire time and doing protective styles. Okay, next, you do need to take care of your hair in between those protective styles. So my next tip is going to be like making sure to thoroughly cleanse your hair and to deep condition your hair. So you want to make sure that you're keeping your scalp clean, and so that you can allow your hair to grow, especially if you're doing a lot of protective styling. Your hair is up, you're not washing it as much, so you want to make sure that when you are taking out, you're really keeping your scalp clean and allowing an environment for your hair to grow. Next, deep conditioning. Deep conditioning is super, super, super important for your hair. I would recommend, and if you're wearing it out, I would recommend deep conditioning, if not every week, every other week, just depending on the state of your hair. Just being able to assess the damage and what you really need. But deep conditioning helps improve elasticity of your hair, which will help prevent breakage. It helps to restore the pH balance of your hair. It helps to moisturize your hair. It helps to reduce split ends. Also, when you are deep conditioning, I would highly, highly recommend using heat. So whether that's a hooded dryer, a blow dryer, attachment, but really making sure that the deep conditioner is penetrating your strands. It's gonna work so much better if you add heat. And if you don't have any of these items, there's always other methods. So you can, while you're in the shower, put a plastic bag over your hair, put your scarf on, and let the steam just penetrate your scalp. And you wanna make sure you're investing in good products. That is going to be my next tip, because if you're getting deep conditioners that aren't really working, or they're drying out your hair, then it's not really doing anything. Or if you're getting shampoos that aren't really thoroughly cleansing your scalp, then that's not going to help. So that's also why I recommend sometimes going to a good salon, especially if you're doing protective styling, so they can really take care of your scalp in between, because I do think salon products sometimes are better than the products on the market for black hair. But if I did have to recommend some products, I definitely would recommend Camille Rose. That's one of my favorite natural hair brands. So I would recommend her deep conditioners. Pretty much most of them to me work really well. And then I also would recommend Melanin Hair Care. So this at the moment is completely empty, but it is my favorite deep conditioner. I think this is one of the only deep conditioners that kind of mimics the deep conditioners that are used at the salon. And this has hyaluronic acid, biotin, fenugreek, pumpkin, bamboo, no sulfates, no parabens, no mineral oil, and some other stuff that I'm not reading all of this. But this for my hair is really, really good. Everybody's hair is different, but I definitely would recommend the Melanin Hair Care Deep Conditioner. I'll leave the name or link the name of my favorite Camille Rose Deep Conditioner in the comments, because I don't know where it is right now. I think I used it all. But I also like this one, this Maximum Hydration Penetrating Hair Treatment. I think her products just work really well. So some of my recommendations, but like I said, investing in good products, period. And my next tip is going to be to make sure your hair is moisturized. Natural hair can be very, very dry, and you don't want your ends to continue to break and split. So you need to make sure that you're properly moisturizing your hair. So like I said, I love Camille Rose, so I would recommend something like this moisture butter. You just have to really see what works for you. It also, like, I use something like that if I'm putting some like cornrows in my hair and doing clip-ins. But you know, you need to, it depends on what style you're doing, but you need to find really moisturizing hair products so your hair is not dry and it's not breaking off. My next tip is going to be making sure your hair is properly dried. So I am going to be someone who advocates for you investing in maybe a hooded dryer or investing in a diffuser, but I 100% do not think you should air dry. Your hair is weaker when it's wet and it's more susceptible to damage. So you need to make sure that you are properly drying your hair, because if not, this can lead to split ends, that can lead to the fairy knots. To my next point, which is to make sure that you're stretching your hair, which goes into, like, you know, making sure that it's properly dry, just so, you know, you make sure your hair is not too like tight and not properly dried, because that can also lead to those fairy knots and those split ends. And then, you know, if you don't feel comfortable, you know, putting too much of that heat, just use a good heat protectant. I use this one. I don't know if it's like the best one ever. This is just the one that I use, that I get from my local beauty supply store. It works for me. I use it every time I blow dry my hair. So yes, make sure that you're properly drying your hair and make sure that you're stretching your hair. Now, my next tip is going to be, for me personally, if you're trying to grow your natural curly hair, I would avoid using high levels of heat. So I'm really talking about like flat ironing. You can heat damage your hair blow drying, but you know, you just have to be cognizant when you're doing your protective styling that you're using like heat protectant and trying to protect your hair. Now, I'm not saying that heat will automatically damage your hair, but if you're trying to grow your curly hair, there is the possibility that you could damage your curls if you're using too high heat settings. I personally am not doing any heat just because I have suffered the repercussions of heat damage. So I'm staying away from it completely. Besides blow drying my hair, blowing it out for trims and stuff, I don't cut my hair on wet hair. I don't think that is helpful personally. But I would just avoid the flat iron if you can. I think if you're trying to grow curly hair, it just kind of goes together. I think every now and again, it's okay to get your hair pressed out if you have a stylist who knows how to properly care for your hair. But I would avoid, like I said, high levels of heat. Okay, my next tip is taking care of your health, okay? Because all of these things work together. So making sure that you're eating healthy, because there are certain foods that aid in hair growth. So for an example, eggs, they help stimulate the production of keratin, the protein that our hair is made of. Avocados, they contain vitamin E, which fights oxidative stress and essential fatty acids that also stimulate hair growth. Spinach, which contains iron, folate, and vitamins A and C, which help maintain healthy hair follicles. These are just a few examples, but eating clean, whole food diet will definitely aid in your hair growth. I think it helped aid in my hair growth this year, so I definitely would invest in your body. And my next tip would be also to drink a lot of water. So drinking water helps hydrate your hair and your scalp. So your hair is made up of a lot of water, and when you drink enough water, your hair always stays hydrated and it'll help your hair remain healthy. Also, it will help prevent hair loss. It will help prevent split ends and breakage. It will also stimulate hair growth. So taking care of your body will also help your hair growth, and along with that, working out as well. So exercising increases blood circulation and oxygen in blood cells, which helps benefit your hair follicles. So like I said, when you're taking care of your body, working out, eating healthy, drinking lots of water, this will also aid in your hair growth. So my next two tips kind of go hand in hand. So develop a good routine and do what works for you. So you really want to just maintain a healthy hair regimen. So having your established wash day, your products, getting your regular scheduled trims, have a regimen that you know will help you achieve your hair goals. But with that, on the same hand, I'm giving you guys tips, but do what works for you. There's so much content on natural hair, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what works, what doesn't work. At the end of the day, you know your hair, you will experiment with these different things. And so whatever works for you, whatever is helping you retain length, whatever is helping your hair grow, stick to that, okay? Everybody's hair is different, so do what works for you. But that is the end of today's video. I really hope that these tips helped you guys. I hope everybody reaches their hair goal length. And yeah, I love natural hair. Like, I love seeing Black women be confident in their natural hair. So I really hope that I can just help spread some knowledge to you guys. I hope we can go on this journey together. Comment below if you guys want any more hair videos. Maybe I can do like my wash day maintenance hair growth routine, like in between protective stylings. But I love you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to stay tuned for the next one, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Mwah.